Hi, everybody. This is Linda. Not sure how to report on this. I prayed to the Lord, please give me the words. You remember I have told y'all many times since President Trump was elected that the Lord has put him there, but we don't know why. It's not to make America great again because we are in the end times and there is no mention of the United States of America in end time Bible prophecy. So if we were going to be great again, we would be mentioned more than a hint, and that may not even be us, but the young lions of Tarshish. I mean, that's not making us great again. So why was he put there? And I've said to y'all many times, with the way Trump is, and his abilities and his stubbornness and his willingness to plow ahead through all of this horrible hatred around him, that perhaps the Lord put him there because of those attributes, because the Lord needed him to get things closer to the tribulation. And only Trump, with his attributes, could move things closer to the tribulation. And this article certainly tells me I might be on the right track. Well, I got this article first. It was dated today, and top Israeli rabbi believes Trump will build third temple in Jerusalem. Of course, that caught my eye. I read it. It's short, but I wanted to get more. So I went to their source, which was the Breaking Israeli News. So I went over there, and they had written this on the 22nd. I don't know how I missed it. In God's timing, I'm sure. Ancient Jewish sources indicate Trump will pave way for third temple, prominent rabbi. Well, here's what they believe. Oh, good gracious. I'm trying to see how to relate all of this to you in a nutshell. They believe that because the Romans tore down or destroyed the second temple, that the Christians, which is what they consider the Romans, because Christianity, they say, they're talking about Catholics, which isn't Christians. But anyway, remember, Jewish beliefs are different from the New Testament belief because they don't believe in Jesus. So it's hard to I'm trying to put this in perspective for you. But they think that the Romans or Christianity will build the third temple as reparation for destroying the second temple. And they're saying that in Leviticus, it tells them that the 4 kinds of meats that they are not allowed to eat, Leviticus 11:7. And what they're saying is, I guess it's best if I just read it for you, because I would never be able to translate it into something coherent. Let's see. As the son of the Mishkots Ribi, please forgive my terrible pronunciations, a revered Hasidic leader with thousands of followers, Rabbi Berger is well versed in Jewish literature and based his conclusions on several classical sources. The rabbi began his explanation by using the 11th chapter of Leviticus that I'm sorry, my voice is just not good today. That delineates the laws pertaining to animals that are fit for Jewish consumption. For an animal to be designated as kosher, it must have split hooves and chew its cud. Now, I know y'all are saying, what's this got to do with the third temple, Linda? Please hang in there. Despite the explicitly stated rule, 4 animals are specifically mentioned as being forbidden in a manner that seems textually redundant. The final animal specified as being forbidden to Jews is a pig. And the swine, although it has true hooves, with the hooves cleft through, it does not chew the cud. It is unclean for you. Leviticus 11:7. So what does that have to do with the Christians rebuilding the temple? Well, here we are. We're at that point. Citing Midrash Rabbah, a collection of homiletic teachings he believed to have been compiled, teachings believed to have been compiled in the 5th century in Israel, Rabbi Berger explains this apparent redundancy by stressing that the 4 animals are compared to the 4 major kingdoms that mistreated Israel. Of these impure species, a Shazar is compared to the nation of Edom, which literally translates as red, referring to the redness of Jacob's brother Esau. In rabbinic literature, Edom refers to Rome, which largely comprised of Esau's descendants. Edom has also come to mean Christianity, which first flourished in Rome. All right. Now, those of you who know the Bible, if you're like me, as I read that, I was thinking of the big statue, I'll call it, that had the feet of clay and the feet of iron, etc., etc. And that does have some of the same understanding as Rome is part of this thing. So we're seeing that even though they don't believe the way we do, some of what they believe coincides with some of what we believe. So you're going to see more of it blew me away is all I can say, okay? And that's why I'm having such a hard time giving this to you. And yes, I did pray before I did the news on this, but I'm too emotional to get my thoughts out. The comparison is not flattering, but the implications are enormous. Rabbi Berger told Breaking Israel News, many times in the Bible we find that the greatest spiritual light comes from the most hidden of sources. Midrash Rabbah asked, why is Edom compared to a shazir or pig? The answer Midrash Rabbah gives is based on the root of the word shazar, which literally means to return. Rabbi Berger continued, Midrash Rabbah stated, in the future, Edom will return the glory to its former status. Rabbi Berger also quoted Rabbi Baya ben Asher. Oh dear, forget the name, I can't do it. A 13th century Spanish biblical commentator, also known as whatever. The medieval scholar wrote that the first and second temples were built by the descendants of David, but in the future, the third temple will be built by descendants of Edom. Rabbi Berger emphasized that these sources state explicitly that the third temple will be built by the descendants of Rome, i.e., Christianity. All right, are you starting to get a picture here? All right, it says because Rome destroyed the second temple, so Rome's descendants, the Christians, are going to amend this by taking part in bringing the third temple. Rabbi Berger believes the President Trump's election has already begun this process. The rabbi noted that Donald Trump's name in Hebrew, numerically based on Hebrew letters, equals 424, which is the same numerical value of the phrase Mashiach, Messiah, from the house of David. Are y'all getting this picture here? I'm trying not to be emotional, but it's hard on me. But Donald Trump is not righteous enough or knowledgeable in the Bible to actually be the Messiah, Rabbi Berger noted. Trump's connection to the Messiah is that he will play a role in one of the major functions of the Messiah. He will pave the way for building the third temple. Trump will not personally merit building the temple, he continued. Like Cyrus, how many times have we heard people say Trump is a type and shadow of Cyrus? He will pave the way for men who will begin the construction, and when the time is right, the third temple will descend from heaven. No leader in history has recognized Jerusalem as the capital of the Jews and Israel, he pointed out. He has already created a great reparation for the Christians through his unprecedented relationship with Jerusalem. Trump is the representative of Edom that will perform that final historic reparation for his entire nation by building the temple. I don't know if you all saw what I saw, but add to that, his son-in-law is trying to come up with the peace deal there, which may or may not include dividing Jerusalem. But whoever signs a covenant with many, whoever comes up with the covenant with many, will be the son of perdition. So perhaps, and I say perhaps because I don't know, perhaps President Trump's purpose for being in his office is to bring us closer to the tribulation, as I have stated so many times before. Perhaps not only building the third temple or having the third temple built, perhaps with Kushner being in the position he's in to bring about the peace treaty. When I read this, I was like, oh my goodness, because now I can't elaborate on this one, okay? It would take way too long. But there is what is the name of it? Jeepers Creepers. I can't remember it. Anyway, I read it yesterday. It was about, it's the Illuminati. It's the Rothschilds Coven. The Rothschilds Coven, golden, I can't remember. But anyway, it gave everything that they were doing, and how they wrote it was to bring the light. And it's already been done. The only thing that they have to do now is the financial reset. And then they can take over the world with the New World Order. And if you've noticed that the stock markets have been bouncing around like jumping jacks, It's just once I read that and saw that they were still getting where they want to be, even though President Trump is trying to so-called drain the swamp, that tells me that they haven't slowed down their forward motion. And then at the end of that piece I read, it talked about what it was going to, how great it was going to be with everybody in the world on the same page, and everybody under the same religion, and there will be no more thoughts of dissension because they know our thoughts, and so on and so on. And I'm shuddering at what I'm reading. And then this morning I get this, and I think that the Lord is trying to tell us, fellas, you are so close to going home, you just can't imagine. And he puts these articles before me so I can relay his messages to you. I was so emotional trying to give you this article, I couldn't even quite give it, because I'm excited to go home, but I'm very concerned for those left behind. And I know that there will be a lot of scoffers and mockers on this video. I don't care. I'm hoping that they will see how close the tribulation is. And if you're sitting on the fence, you will finally get off of the fence and come over and give your life to Jesus. This tells us that we are extremely close. This and that thing that I read yesterday, I wished I had kept it up. But let me see something. Let me see if... Nope, that ain't it.
Hi guys, it's Michelle, Deception Bites, and I'm bringing you something very unusual. It's not what I usually bring, and
here it is. I got it from her video, so hold on, guys. I know you. Here we go. Whoop. I lost it. I know you don't like this kind of video that's so discombobulated, but give me a break. I'm old, okay? Jeez. All right, here we go. All right. Golden Dawn, that's what it was. I knew it was golden something. But they even have a picture of President Trump in a Napoleon type of uniform. But when you read all of this at the beginning, it sounds, yeah, this sounds great. This sounds wonderful. And most of it has been done already. But when you get down towards the end here, then you start seeing all of the end time, the tribulation stuff, all of the stuff that is going to happen in the tribulation, the mark of the beast, and all that is in here. It's like, oh my goodness. Well, I got this yesterday. Probably one of the first people ever to follow me many years ago. She and I have been close ever since. And she sent it to me, this video. And she says, Linda, we're going home soon. And she was so excited. And so I watched the video and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I went over here to this and I went, oh my goodness. So I'm going to put the link to these two in here for you. But see, I wasn't going to give you this one in this video because I didn't want to have to get into it. But then I got to talking and telling you that first the Lord put this in front of us, and then today he puts this in front of us. And I'm telling you guys, this is the way God works with me. He and I have been doing this for years, so I know how he works with me. This is him telling you and me we're going home soon. I don't know what day, but it's sooner than it has been, of course, but it's really sooner than we think. And so that's what this video was about, as badly put together as it is, as poorly as I presented it. That's what this video was about. So guys, please commune with the Lord so you can stay on the straight and narrow, so that when it's time, we can all meet in the clouds. And if you don't believe in the rapture timing like we do, keep it to yourself, please. Let's agree to disagree politely. Bye-bye.